7 Days to Die is a game marketing itself as the survival hard crafting game. It even says it on the home screen. But it's more than that, and it's less of that. If they were being honest, it would say the zombie-themed dungeon crawler RPG with survival crafting and tower defense elements game. Not that that's a bad thing. It's a game which has held a special place in my heart ever since I first played it on the PS4 sometime around 2017, back when it really was a survival hard crafting game. But with this newest update, I feel like the game is in its best state it's ever been in, despite its gradual shift away from its roots. There is a level of pain required to enjoy this game to its full potential, so for this reason I'm increasing the difficulty straight to the maximum, insane, as well as increasing the number of zombies which can spawn on the hard night to its maximum of 64. With that, we may begin. These starting missions are quite boring, but they do give us 4 skill points at the end, so they're definitely worth doing. One of the new things introduced in Alpha 21 was a rework to how spears work, so I'm going to give them a spin and see if they're actually usable in their updated state. In the past, spears' power attacks worked by throwing them, which sounds quite cool, but in reality just left you disarmed and sometimes led to you actually losing the spear. In Alpha 21, the throw has been replaced with a decently powerful long-range attack, allowing you to poke at enemies from afar. This trailer seems like a good first place to loot. We dome this geezer through the window and then help him break down the door so we can get at him faster. I chiefly pull my arrow back out of his skull mid-fight and get down to business with this spear. The range on it feels great. With most weapons, you're usually coming forward to hit and then pulling back before they get one back in at you. But with this, you can just keep out of arm's length to begin with. We go in for his roommate too. I want the place empty before I start looting. He does not go down as easily as his friend did. The loot is not great, but we do get a spear magazine which is useful. That's another thing Alpha 21 changed. No longer do you unlock or improve your crafting items using skills, but instead by reading magazines. Every few magazines you read, you unlock the next tool or tier of tool for that type. For instance, if we read another spear magazine, we can craft level 2 spears. The relevant skills for spears now buff the spears and also increase your chance of finding spear books, so you don't need to spec into skills to unlock specific items, but you do need to spec into them if you want to unlock those items quickly. Anyway, with this place looted, we'd best head over to the trader and start cracking through jobs. Jobs are the main gameplay loop of the game, giving us XP, cash, loot, and most importantly, some direction. Furthermore, a vital piece of equipment in Alpha 21 is a dew collector to make free water, requiring a water filter which can only be required from the traders. In our travels, we encounter a few zombies, and I'm killing all of them, which I can, because we want as much XP as possible to start leveling up. We're collecting all the trash and bird nests we see along the way. Basically everything is useful either now or later on down the line. We find this guy, who is easily one of the most terrifying zombie models in the game. Comparing him to the old fire zombies is like night and day. Eventually, we reach the impressive new trading outpost. Compared to the old ones, this is like a castle. Inside, we find the iconic Trader Joel, and we get a job from him. Unfortunately, the backdrop here makes it nigh impossible to read the missions themselves, leading me to misread 947 metres for 347 metres. Suffice to say, 947 metres is much too far away for the first day.
I could really use some help. You the man.
As soon as I realise my mistake, I cancel the job and return to the trader. Whilst there, I trade 200 grass scraps and a metal chain for a single bottle of water. And look for a new job to pick up, this time with a better contrasting backdrop. I land on this clear zombies quest for a POI 400 metres away, which appears to be some sort of mining site by the name Mushroom Mining Co. It's quite late in the day, so I plan to clear it out and then crash there overnight to hide from the runners which emerge after dark. First, I build a little camp on the road near the traders and dump all the crap I don't need in a chest before heading over to the mining site. It's a quirky little place, basically just a hole in the ground on top of a big hill. Immediately, I am spooked by a corpse. Right there as we enter is the main loot, so tantalisingly close, yet so far away. This is what I mean by dungeon crawler. Every POI is a linear dungeon which you must progress through to reach a treasure room at the end. Rarely is it so cruelly taunting as this, however. I was still under the impression at this point I was going to finish the POI before sundown, so I got started going through it the right way. We put an arrow straight through the back of this guy's neck, but it doesn't kill him straight away. We need to be careful and strategic with the fights we pick here. Ideally, we only want one zombie at a time, because we don't have the stamina for long fights, and we don't have any kind of backup weapon for if things go south. It can be tempting to keep hitting zombies when they go down, but I use the time to regenerate stamina, because if it stands up and it starts running, you are royally screwed if you just used all your stamina. This one hits us and knocks half of our health off. We need to put her down and fast, because one more hit and it's sayonara. Thankfully, our next hit puts her down, but we're in no state to keep fighting here. Wait, what are you doing? You're like 50 health. Why are you continuing, you doofus? For my hubris, I am rewarded with yet another strong zombie. We already know she can do 50 damage, and that's all I've got left. And in some perfect timing, a zombie from the ceiling drops down right on top of our heads. Whilst searching for the building block in the menu, I accidentally spell out what was happening inside my head. Bollocks, 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 bollocks. There's only one thing I can think to do, and it's to build up to the loot room and hopefully hide there overnight. It will give me time to heal, and I have nowhere near enough time to finish clearing this place anyway. I'm scared for a moment that they might have a way up to me, but it seems not, so I get to work chipping away at them with arrows. The little guy goes down easy, but we know that Big Mama doesn't back down without a fight. We get to work turning her into a pincushion. We have plenty of arrows after all. Soon she drops, and has the most dramatic death imaginable. I soon realised that there is no easy way into this box, so I start digging around the outside to get into the corridor you're meant to enter from. By the time I'm in the position to enter, night has fallen. I need to be extra careful fighting this guy. He's a runner now, so if I run out of stamina, I have no chance to recover it. We begin with a cheap dome shot, but it doesn't finish him, and I quickly fumble any advantage I might have had by missing all of my shots. After panicking placing some blocks, the only thing between me and him is this ladder, and he's working his way through it. Fortunately, arrows can go through ladders, so we're able to safely pick him off. Our antics were not quiet, however. We've attracted the attention of more zombies. This guy appears to be trying to dig his way around to the front to get into the cage. Theoretically, there is an open route for them to get around to the corridor. If any zombie discovers this path, that might be the end of us. Even more zombies rush in. You can tell from his orange eyes that he's a feral, meaning he has heightened senses, strength and endurance. We will not survive in a fair fight with him. By the looks of things, they might be trying to bring down the entire structure I'm stood on, but it's hooked into the ceiling, so I'm not too worried about that happening. I am most worried about one of them discovering the right path up here. I quickly loot the boxes up here, desperate for any kind of weapon to help me fend them off. My luck is poor. Just some books. However, we get some chest armour, so we're at least a bit better defended from hits, if I put it on. I mean seriously, it's just sat there in my inventory. With the loot collected, I make my way up onto the roof of the elevator and start knocking out the ladder to ensure my safety. Remember that route I was talking about, for the zombies to get up here? One of them found it. If I hadn't knocked out the ladder, I would have been toast right there. Big guy over here, despite looking like an obese porcupine, refused to die, having survived 25 arrows and about 4 big falls. Finally we get him, and that's all of them I think, so I settle down and have a look at the skill tree for the rest of the night. As dawn breaks, I can hear a zombie I must have missed last night wandering around, but I'm ready to move through this place and clear it out. We find a bag of loot which I'm not entirely sure how it got there. They usually drop when a zombie dies, but we haven't been over here yet. Alas, it had a helmet with a flashlight attached, so I shan't be complaining. We quickly get ourselves into another pickle. Fortunately, my epic parkour skills save us from a grisly fate. It's a cakewalk once I'm in a nice line like this for you. If I had one piece of advice to give you for this game, it would be to always fight on your terms, never theirs. If you're in a situation where they're in control of the fight, retreat and get into a situation you can control, be that a choke point or just an open room you can manoeuvre in. This big bald bastard is the final one, and with him dead, we can finally go and turn in the quest at the trader. None of his rewards are so great, so I pick up some water to make sure we aren't running out anytime soon. Water is a lot harder to come by in Alpha 21, especially before we get a dew collector set up. But the next quest we get is quite simple. Just go and dig up a box, which is a welcome reprieve after a drama of last night. We arrive at the site of a buried box, and what do you know, it's right in front of Mushroom Mining Company. I sure hope I don't end up falling in. We get this circle of digging, which progressively gets smaller and smaller as we dig out more, closing in on where the box is. It is simple work. Every 10th block we mine shrinks the circle, but also has a chance to spawn zombies around us, so we need to be ready to jump out of the hole and fight at a moment's notice. It's just 2 this time. Again, note that I'm not hitting her when she falls, but instead using the moments to regain some stamina. In the absence of good weapons and skills, we need to use our heads to survive. Pretty sure that last guy wasn't even summoned by the quest, he just wandered in. I quickly spec into -69er again, so I can get this done even faster. When digging, it's good to poke your head out like a meerkat to make sure there's no sneaky zombies closing in on you. Like I said before, always fight them on your terms. In an open space like this, there's nothing stopping you from training them like it's 2010, and you're playing COD Black Ops, running the stage on Kino the Totem. Skinny bastard here is fast, however, too fast, and we can't recover stamina fast enough to keep up with his speed. We turn tail and haul ass and get some good distance, giving me time to eat some food to heal, and I decide to finish him from a distance. Now it's only Bald Bastard 1 and 2 left, so we cave in those sonar domes they call foreheads, and get back on our way to Joel's. Not before coming across this guy, and for some reason, I just cannot resist a fight. Needless to say, I start to regret it once he comes running at us. This is why I said not to hit them while they're down. He's running at us, and we have nowhere near enough stamina to deal with that. I panic place blocks, which does little to slow him, but he eventually slows down when we finish him off. The quest rewards are, yet again, nothing too special. In the end, I land on a weighted head mod, which makes us more likely to knock down zombies. Incredibly useful to give us some breathing room in fights. I then pick up a fetch quest, where we must retrieve a package from a POI and return it to Joel, which will probably be my last quest of the day, so I can focus on getting some sort of base put together. As it turns out, the quest is over in the burnt forest biome, which as you can see in the top right, has a half skull difficulty rating. This is bad, because it means that the zombies will be slightly harder to kill. But it's good, because it means the loot will be a bit better. Holy shit, that's a big hole. I thought I'd accidentally put the forest for a moment there. I find the POI we are to search for, which is some sort of scrapyard by the looks of it. It's called Hogfoot Village, and seems to be a respectable little place. Its first inhabitant is a mechanic around the corner here. I'd like to bring attention to my health bar and how stupid what I'm currently doing is. I'm one hit from any zombie with biceps thicker than a Coke bottle. We find a ruined dew collector, but there's no water filter in it. You can only get them from traders, but I guess it's always worth a check. It did give me a workstation book, which will allow me to craft a collector if I can get my hands on a water filter. I don't even know if I can show this lady. Like, whoever decided to give jiggle physics to a zombie just needs to have a sit down with themselves and a serious talk. The whole game is fraught with this sort of strange sexual immaturity. From obviously this, to Trader Jen's design, to the skills -69er, and the late sexual Tyrannosaurus. I won't comment on how positive or negative this is, but it definitely gives an aura of teenage boy locker room talk, and I'd know, it wasn't very long ago. It takes me a moment to find a way out. These keys work as a button to open the door, but I completely missed them on the first look around. Call it cowardly, but I place a hatch to fall back to if things get hairy. With health this low, I shouldn't even be here, so it doesn't hurt to have a bit of caution. And what do you know, I take a smack from this mechanic, bringing us even closer to death. A smart person would probably have cut their losses here and left, so they could live to fight another day. Nope, not me, we keep going. We wake up this big guy, but I've learned from my mistake this time. He won't even get close enough to swing. We get him down without a hitch and, thank God, time to go home and recover? No? Okay. Time to continue onwards with 23 health. We slither up the ladder and encounter these two, which by all means we could easily take on. However, I decide to run over here and escape and run into this guy. He's a thick guy, not as easy as the other two, and certainly someone would want to fight only one-on-one. I make a quick decision and jump down into the trailer. Do I A. cut my losses and run home? B. run back to my hatch and fight there. C, fight this guy out here in the open. If you guessed C, give yourself a pat on the back. So there I am, taken too soon from this world, and I auto-fall out like a bitch. The game allows you to respawn, and I never stipulated that this would be a permadeath run, but I think it's in the spirit of maximum difficulty to not die during it. So I have no other option but to restart. At this point I'm so salty that if a Roman soldier cut a hole in my flank, seawater would pour out. Don't worry, I'll gloss over all the stuff we've already seen. So this time we're on the pre-gen 10k map with the same settings as last time. We can gloss over the starting quests, straight to loot in this little cabin we're near. Same deal as last time, we're using spears because they're new and interesting, and it's not the usual strength meta, anything but the usual strength meta. Look at this guy and his beautifully modelled wiggly dragging things. The loot's alright, bit of armour, some skill books, nothing really to write home about. With this done, we can head down to the trader given to us by the quest. The trader looks to be holed up in some kind of church. This is Jen's new gaff, much more fitting than the random industrial buildings she used to have. I want something really easy to get on with since it's the first day, so I pick up a buried supplies quest. By all means, it's inferior to fetch or clear zombies quests, but it's nice when you want a nice little chill trip.
You know, apocalypse hygiene and all.
We dump our stuff in a little camp on the road nearby, and get going to find this treasure. Halfway there, I realise that taking a buried supplies quest this late in the day means I'll have nowhere to stay tonight, besides maybe the hole, which isn't very safe, so I turn back. Learning from my experience from last time, I decided to build my own base straight away, rather than risk a POI. We're going for the tried and tested base on stilts, which is good for killing zombies. The wooden bars in the middle mean there's nowhere a zombie can stand down there that we can't see and shoot them. We build it in two tiers, the first being the fighting floor, and the second being somewhere we can place equipment and hide from zombies. We need two, because I find that sometimes if you're on the bottom floor, zombies will spot you, but up here, they almost never do. Not much to do tonight, so I just sort of let it pass by. It's boring, but better than dying, and we will find some nocturnal activities to do at a later date. A lot of zombies wander around down there, including this spider zombie which I almost shoot, but wisely decide not to. First thing in the morning, we head over to that buried supply box. Just the usual stuff, so skip to us actually getting into the box. Must just a bit of food and a farming book. It's not really what's in the box we care about, more what reward is waiting for us back at Jen's. On the way back, I encounter a biker zombie and treat him with the appropriate amount of caution. Just kidding, we go right in for his ass. Jen's rewards leave something to be desired. I take repair kits in the end in case I run into some iron tools or guns. For my next quest, I take a clear zombies.
Oh, thank goodness.
It's this little gas station on the outskirts of a nearby town. I clear it out pretty easily and, using magic, teleport an arrow through this biker's skull. I also find a pipe machine gun which will be invaluable if we get backed into a corner and need a quick solution. None of Jen's quest rewards are so great, and you're going to hear that a lot in this video. And whilst in hindsight the 762 would be a better choice, since I have something to put it in, I in the end decided on a crafting magazine bundle to hopefully give us some more progress towards important crafting skills like cooking or forge. We pick up a fetch quest while we're here. From the crafting bundle we get 3 assault rifle magazines, which we don't really care about, 3 spear magazines, which is actually quite good for us, and 3 rifle magazines, which is, I was being terminally stupid here, as this zombie dog was just minding its own little business, and I was already moving past it, but I just had to go and shoot it. Thankfully, I wasn't the only one with brain damage, as it for some reason decided to go and break down that door instead of coming for me. Gets the memo in the end, much to my despair, and I get to put my oh shit gun to the test. We arrive at the quest location, but upon entering the living room, the floor falls out, and I'm left in a fight to the death and no way back out. I set a hatch down to fall back on, and get down to killing some zombies. Even with a hatch, I'm not immune to cheap hits. Loot continues to be nothing special. I suspect it won't be for a long time, as they really want you to be reliant on traders and crafting in Alpha 21, it appears. We do get a slightly better bow, however, so does that. We get another crafting bundle off Jen, and I pick up a buried supplies quest to do tonight. In the bundle we get food magazines, which is welcomed, and then some other useless crap. During doing this buried supplies quest, a wandering horde passes through in the distance. They don't seem to have spotted me yet, but they will hang around in the area for a while, so I put down a hatch behind me to make sure I'm safe if they find me in my hole. Thankfully, we find the supplies of our incident, and I can get up on the surface to fight. I get back before nightfall, but not quite soon enough to hand in the quest. We do some covert operations to clear out the area around my base, since I'm bored, and if we don't have to fight them in the morning, it leaves time to do other things. I even bagged myself a deer, so we won't go hungry anytime soon. Eventually, I decided to start digging a mine to give me something to do on nights. This isn't like Minecraft. We probably won't find any ore down there. We're actually doing it for the stone itself, since we're going to need a lot of it for concrete. Plus, it's going to give us a big empty space down there for safe storage and crafting stations later on. The next morning,
Wow,
Jen's
I didn't think you
rewards
had it
are
in
the
you.
worst yet.
Good job.
The only thing even nearly worth taking is the pipe bombs, but even then, I'm more of a Molotov person. What we're really doing these for is to complete 7 of them to get the tier 1 final reward. One of the choices being a bicycle, which we really want because we waste so much time running. Anyway, we take a clear zombies quest and get on our way. It's at another little gas station, so we should be able to get a bit of good food and some vehicle related stuff hopefully. Seriously, this guy just popped in out of nowhere. You can see him appear with the sweep of my bow. That was very nearly the end of us, all because of a teleporting dog. We do eventually arrive at the station, and it's time to get down to business. We get 10 tape from Jen and pick up another clear zombies quest. Nothing is worse than these areas where you just drop in with no way out. All it takes is a dog and a feral in there and you're toast. I shoot an arrow down to maybe wake up a zombie, but no luck. Guess we'll have to go down there and just pray all will be good. I'm quite happy to find a pipe machine gun upgrade in here, so our oh shit gun is even oh shitter. In my infinite wisdom, I decided to take a jumping fall from the top of my base and break my leg, so I'm forced to hobble over to Jen's. I take the opportunity to loot the place whilst my leg heals, and I'm rewarded with not much. Lots of crafting books, which we like, but the rest is mostly junk. I happily take this helmet light mod from Jen, not even a hesitate. What are you doing? Why 9mm? I have a machine gun for Christ's sake. I pick up a buried supplies quest for the morning. Shame I won't be able to see it, because you can't light up a cave with 9mm. I left my torch in the passing gas before. Great. Anyway, I get back home and I dig, and I dig, and I dig, and I dig, and I think I dig a bit more. The hole is the only escape from the boredom of night time in this game. At least later on I'll have like storage to organise or something. I've got nothing now, just my pickaxe and some stone. Do you know what I do day 4? I dig, I woke up, I dug, I go back to Jen's. I kicked out bicycle for doing 7 quests. I open Jen's jobs and holy shit, it's all dig baby. I bike, I dig, I loot, I kill zombies, eat food. See Jen, she likes me. She gives me 7.62. She says go dig. I go dig hole, find food, kill zombie, loot airdrop, get revenge. Me happy. See Jen, she like dig, gives me first aid kits. Says go dig more. I go dig more food. Very happy, smart, sad. See Jen, She gives me wood splitter mod. She say dig. I said no. I go dig tomorrow. I'm not sure what that was all about. Our base as it is okay, but I'd like it a lot more if I could walk off any side and not break my leg. Furthermore, upgrading the base is a great source of XP, so we're killing two birds with one stone here. With the base expanded a bit, we retreat to our hole to mine away the night. By the morning, we have a decent little area cleared out down here, ready for me to start digging out in whichever direction I choose. Preferably away from our base though, so I don't end up collapsing it by accident. The next day, when I go digging, I find the box almost straight away. Nothing special again, but it gives us something to do and puts some zombies in front of us to kill. I return to Jen's and a wandering horde is there to meet me. I could just ignore it, but I'd be missing out on a massive amount of XP and some potential loot. I can't tell if this is a coincidence or not, but it appears to me that wandering hordes drop way more loot bags than just normal zombies. Anyway, we get them cleared out and say hi to Jen, who finally gifts us some Molotovs, which we'll definitely find a use for on Horde Night. I selected an Infestation clear mission, which is where you get a clear zombies mission of a POI the tier below what your mission is, but it has twice as many zombies. This should be easy, I thought, and you know what? It felt pretty easy until precisely now. What the hell is this big guy doing here? It's a tier 1 POI, goddammit, and I've never seen one up until this point. So I said, "Hello Mr. Policeman, would you like to meet my pipe machine gun?" And he said, "Yes please," so I obliged. He did happily soak up 25 7.6mm bullets however, likely owed in part to the fact that his size is somewhere in the ballpark of a smart car. The loot in here is actually quite good, lots of ammo, and most importantly, a water filtration mod, which, when coming in contact with a water source, turns into infinite free water hacks. You can drink murky water with no penalty when you're using it, so even a puddle turns into enough water to last you an entire game. Fun pimps, please fix. I get back to Jen's and for some reason pick a crafting book bundle over 25 goddamn forged steel. Guess you're too good for that, huh, punk? You think so?
You know?
I also, not quite realising how OP that water filter mod is yet, stash it away in my storage chest. Anyway, over yonder, I've discovered that the buried supplies quest I just picked up is in a wasteland biome. It can't be that bad, it's just a buried supplies quest. I mean, what do those orange skulls even mean? I'm just gonna dig, get treasure, and GTFO. And dig we do. The top layer out here is brick, which is just wonderful, and makes everything just that little bit harder. All of that seems good, until we dig 10 blocks, and discover what those two orange skulls really do. Is that a copper here? He's not even the most dangerous part. This feather-infected survivor wants to give me a hug, and I don't want it. Needless to say, this ain't worth it for some buried supplies, so I haul ass and go get a new quest. Oh, look at him, isn't he handsome? I decided that what I really need now is a forge. It's required for iron hatches, which will be incredibly useful when it comes to Horde Night. I found an appliance store to loot, which seemed to me like the most likely place to find a forger head book, which we need 2 more of to craft a forge. In the process of looting the place, I run into an old friend of ours, a little doggy sleeping by the bins. This time, however, we have a plan to keep us safe, which I very nearly fumble here. Loot is okay, but we do get a spear book to do more damage to downed opponents, which might see some use. I head back to Jen's and get a water filter bought, because it's probably about time we get a Duke collector put together. I also buy a book to let us find more Dukes in loot, but I don't know how long I'll have to use it to make up the amount of Dukes I spent to buy it. Returning to base, I find myself woefully short on plastic to build the new Duke collector, so I hit the town to hopefully find some in the form of tyres. I eventually find this junkyard and think, wonderful, there's got to be a load of tyres in here, and there is. But you know what else there is? Dog. But he's no match for my pipe machine gun. Do you know who is a match for my pipe machine gun? Feral White is. These guys, I don't even know they're meant to spawn this early. I'm totally unprepared for something this strong. I book it on my bike, but he isn't giving up that easily, so I end up cowering on top of his school bus to stay safe. After like 3 or so machine gun mags, he finally drops. All of that just for 750 XP. After that, I just go home, and after collecting some tyres on the way, I have enough plastic to build a Duke collector. I extend the upstairs platform and place it up there, so it doesn't get in any zombies' ways. And with that, it's night time, so I go dig. The next day, Jen gives us a fetch quest at the appliance store we looted yesterday. So with my foreknowledge, I clear it out easily. Meh, just kidding. I fumbled a pickup on this block, and the dog in the yard very nearly ends the run for us. Good job we have our big first aid kits on us today. My monkey brain said not to bring them because they're expensive, but you know what they say, you can't take them with you. The loot is no better than last time, mostly just a bit more ammo to add to our already pretty thick supply. We take it back to Jen, and then take a clear zombies and fetch quest at a cafe in town. Looks pretty alright, little did I know. I get ripped up by a vulture on the roof, an early sign of what is to come, but I continue anyway. I know better than to jump straight down that hole with no way back out. So I first break this bulletproof glass to take out some zombies I can see beforehand. In the meantime, some stupid zombies outside destroy the car and ended up blowing themselves to Kingdom Come. Anyway, I break through, snipe the zombies, and now I think it's time to get in there and fight. It actually looks pretty quiet until I hit this door, and then all hell breaks loose. Panickedly, I jump up onto a car to fight them, but I'm utterly surrounded. I think I'm safe for a moment, but it turns out I can get up here too, so I'm forced to run. Barricading myself in this lobby area, I can pretty safely hit them without them being able to reach me. I kill the ones following me, but I hear more. And from the sounds of things, a wandering horde is outside, trying to break their way in. But those walls are pretty thick, so I get to looting whilst they're breaking, hoping I can find some sort of weapon to help me fend them off. Preferably a shotgun. No luck there though, so I just go and face them head on. That wasn't so hard. What was all that doom and gloom about again? I've cleared the building and just need to get the supplies and go back to Jen's. Well, I haven't cleared the building, despite what it says. Always reload your guns. That freeze wasn't edited. That was me alt F4ing the game out of pure rage. I considered continuing, but no, that would not be in keeping with the spirit of the challenge. What does a dyslexic hardcore Christian and a 7 Days to Die player have in common? A fear of dog. So, for the third time, we awaken. Will this be the one? Can we reach and defeat the horde? Or will I die another stupid death, struck down for my hubris? Guess you'll have to find out next time. Thank you all for watching, and good night.